Hey math doers, if you didn't join the live class session, please feel free to watch this instructional video to get a grasp of today's lesson. Or if you were with us in the live class session, you may just want to watch this again and watch examples be worked out. So first we're going to start with definitions. Again, we're looking at numerical expressions, which are math phrases that only have operations, symbols, and numbers. There's no variable signs or equal signs in the expression itself. And equivalent just means equal. So today we're going to look at finding missing values that create equivalent expressions. So we've got one expression on the left and we've got one expression on the right, and we're determining values again so that this number is equal to the number on the other side. So let's take a look at some basic one operation expressions. Start out easy to kind of get the basic idea of it. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to simplify the expression with all of the numbers known. So if we're looking at example 1 here, you should notice that the expression on the right has all the values known. So 17 plus 7 is where we're going to go ahead and start, and we're going to simplify that down to one number. So 17 plus 7 is going to give us an answer. It's going to give us an answer of 24. So now let's take a look at the other side. Again, my goal is to put in a number for the blank that when simplified down is going to give us that same answer of 24. So let's just take a kind of quick time out and think about a couple different ways we could do it. One, you can always use mental math, just figuring out straightforward in your head what number plus 6 gives you 24. However, some of us are better than mental math than others. If you're somebody who struggles with this, you can also just basically use the concept of number relationships. So kind of to break away from that problem just a quick minute and talk about relationships between numbers, we could say 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, right? Now, what if I didn't know this number, right? Now, again, I'm using very simplistic numbers, so I think all of you, even those maybe that don't feel as confident with mental math, should realize that the answer is 1. But if you didn't, remember, addition or subtraction is the opposite of addition. So we can always take out our symbols. Oh, so moving left to right is addition. If I go the other direction, I imply the opposite operation. So the opposite of addition is subtraction. Let me get out all these extra symbols here for you. So I could say 3 minus 2 gives me what? What is that missing number? Well, 3 minus 2 gives us 1. So again, if you can't figure out straightforward moving left to right, what plus 6, for instance, gives us 24, you're also welcome to work the other way around and say 24 minus 6 is going to give me that unknown number. Okay, so that's just kind of a way to kind of bring back that elementary school mentality of number relationships and using opposite operations to solve. All right, so using mental math or using those number relationships, hopefully you're able to agree with me that this missing number is 19. 19 plus 6, I'm sorry, 18 plus 6 is 24. All right, looking at another example, we have 27 minus 8 is equal to 14 plus blank. So again, your first step is to figure out and simplify the expression that has all the known numbers. That's step 1. So 27 minus 8, we break it down, is going to give us 19. Oh. And then on the right-hand side, 14 plus what gives us 19? This one might be a little bit easier for some using mental math. But again, I'm looking at this blank right here has to be a number that gives me the same answer of 19, which should be 5. Now again, you could have used mental math, or because this is addition, 14 plus 5, and I'm looking for 19, I could have also went the other direction using my inverse operation of subtraction to figure out that missing number. And again, 19 minus 4 is 5. So either way you go about it, you're going to get the exact same answer. Right, we said that our answer was 5. All right, taking a look at a couple more. Down here on the left, 25 divided by 5 is 5. Again, I looked for the simplified, or I'm simplifying on the side that has all my known numbers. Then here on the right, 12 minus blank. Now again, I'm looking for that same answer of 5. So mental math or inverse operations, you should find your number to be 7, because 12 minus 7 indeed is also 5. Now, all the little extra scratch work that you see down below, guys, this is just the way that I organize myself. You're free to do the same or come up with your own method. But really what I'm looking for in the end, now I would love to see your math if you can show me, is that you want to make sure you're putting an answer in a blank, because this is actually the one that you're looking for. Okay, one more down here on the bottom right. So blank times 3 is equal to 90 divided by 5. So again, I'm looking at the side that has all my known information. 90 divided by 5. So grab a calculator, grab your cell phone that has a calculator on it. Chromebooks have a calculator, Acers have a calculator. So you should have access to something with basic calculations. All right, so simplifying that down, you get an 18. On the left-hand side, blank times 3 equals 18. So again, you might be able to say, oh, I know mental math. I know this. I know my math facts. 6 times 3 equals 18. Again, if you didn't, you can use opposite inverse relationships. If you're multiplying from left to right, that means you'd be dividing from right to left. So 18 divided by 3 would also give you that answer of 6. So either way you go about it, works the same. All right, so now that you got the hang of the process, let's look at multi-operational expressions. Okay, so these can get a little bit tricky, but we're going to start it exactly the same. We're going to look at this first example and say, hey, on the right here, I have all my known numbers in my expression. So following order of operations, we're going to go ahead and solve 30 plus 6 minus 2, and you get an answer of 34. And I do encourage you to write down the number so that you know what you're shooting for. Because again, I'm looking to put a number in here, my blank, on the other side that then, again, when I simplify the whole thing together, comes out with 34. So if you notice, you've got two operations here. We've got 5 times blank plus 9. Now, order of operations would tell you that I need to do my multiplication first, correct? So it's kind of like I'm gonna call the technique chunking. We need 5 times something plus 9 to give me 34. So basically, the answer in this yellow portion has to be a blank. Blank plus 9 equals 34. So it kind of is going to function first. We're going to it's 2 steps, so we're going to do 2 steps. Is that this section right here needs to be equal to a certain value. So blank plus 9 gives us 34. So again, let's fill in this blank first. What plus 9 gives us 34? So you can use mental math or do your inverse operations. If it's adding this way, it's subtraction going the other way. So 34 minus 9 would also give us that answer. So this orange section right here, we would need 25 because 25 plus 9 gives us 34. And this is just a way to work through it. This is called chunking. From here, now we have to fill in the missing value. 5 times what is going to give me 25? So again, mental math, inverse operations, either way you see it, hopefully you're able to come up with the value of 5. 5 times 5 gives us 25. Then when we add on 9, we're going to get to the answer of 34. All right, let's take a look at another example. So over here, next to it, we have 24 divided by 3 minus 3. If you notice, that's the expression that has everything we need. So we're going to go ahead and simplify that out. And you should get an answer of 5. Then on the right-hand side, we have something divided by, we have 14 divided by something, and then plus 3. So if I just kind of keep it basic, 5 is equal to what plus 3? Hopefully smaller numbers, you're able to say, hey, I know 2 plus 3 gives me 5. So this orange section right here needs to be the answer of, quote, 2, right? I'm looking for a 2 when I compute the orange section. So 14 divided by what gives me 2? Again, you can use mental math, you can use your calculator, plug and chug, any method you like. You should be able to find out that 14 divided by 7 does indeed give me that 2 I was shooting for initially. And then if I add on 3 more, I do get to my answer of 5. So that in the end, when I simplify on the left, I get 5. And when I do 14 divided by 7 plus 3, all of the operations on the right, I indeed also get 5. Hopefully this is starting to make a little more sense. Let's actually go ahead and skip down to the bottom right one. This one is presented a little bit differently. I think you'll find it to be a little easier. But I also want to show you that, not all of them are exactly the same. So if you look between the two expressions, you should lean towards the left. It has all my numbers first. Following order of operations, 21 divided by 3 is 7. 7 minus 2 is 5. So I happen to be shooting for the same answer down here. So I'm looking for 5. Now, if you look out on the right-hand side, we have sum operations. 4 times 3 minus blank. Now, operation-wise, I've got multiplication, I've got subtraction. So just like we did before, we acknowledge that multiplication would be the first one that I do. But guess what? We know what both of those numbers are. So we're free to say, hey, I don't need to figure out what number to put in there to get to a certain number. I can just go ahead and multiply because that's the first part. So 4 times 3 is 12. And then 12 minus what? That's what we're trying to find out. 12 minus what is going to give us 7? Or I'm sorry, is going to give us 5. I actually just told you the answer there, guys, if you caught it. 12 minus 7. That would be what we'd need to go into that line. So 4 times 3 was 12. 12 minus 7 gives me then that final answer of 5. So a little bit to think through. And again, how you organize yourself hopefully will help kind of lead you through the problem, but you're always going to simplify the expression with all your numbers first. Then look at the expression with the blank and kind of work your way through. Determine which number is going to give you the same equivalent answer. All right, let's get down and dirty to the most difficult type. So these examples contain parentheses. So they can get tricky because there's an extra layer of kind of operations, right? We're looking at parentheses, and parentheses, as you know, in order of operations comes first. So let's take a look in this first one right here. So again, procedurally, same operation. You're going to start with the side that has all the numbers. So 30 plus 4 is going to give us a final answer, or a simplified answer of 34. Now looking at the left, you should see parentheses, which should immediately draw your eyes to it because that comes first in order of operations. Then we have multiplication and addition. Okay, so let's start with the parentheses first. This needs to be computed first. And the nice part is we know both those numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and jump down and say, all right, this is a 5. Now we have 5 times something plus 9. Now this is starting to kind of look like the problems that we just did in the last section, where we should realize that multiplication comes first before addition. So this would be our next step, is to figure out this. This is that chunking method. Now again, if you can use mental math and you can figure out straight out of the gate, more power to you, go for it. If you can't, again, a way that you can look at is 4 times what plus 9. What plus 9 gives you 34. If you think back to our other problem, we kind of did this in a simpler form, but we would need to add in there 25, because 25 plus 9 is going to give us 34. So we're shooting for this orange box to kind of work itself out to be an answer of 25 before we add on 9. So 5 times what gives us 25? 5 times 5. So 5 times 5 gives us 29, plus 9 gives us 34. So you just kind of have to take a minute and kind of break it down a little bit further. Each of them are set up a little bit differently. So these are the kind of best steps I could give you to guide and consistency. Is that first, let's look at a new problem. We're going to go over to the side that has all our information. 2 minus 13, and we're going to say, okay, when I simplify that out, hey, I'm going to get negative 11. And again, negatives are okay. We don't like negatives, but you're going to find some negative answers. Looking on the right, parentheses should grab your attention first. 2 times 15. So we have a number minus 2 times 15 is 30. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of rewrite it because there wasn't any unknown values there. And then last but not least, you're looking at, okay, what number can I put in there? And then subtract 30 and get a negative 11. Now, the negatives may throw you off. So if you think kind of the same idea of relationships, this is subtraction over here, right? We could flip it to addition, and it can help us solve as well. So negative 11 plus 30. And you're going to find your answer is 19. So again, whether you use your mental math,